You think you're buying a product, but you're actually entering a system. So why does this keep happening? By the end of this video, you'll understand the exact model companies use to lock customers in. The trick isn't selling products, it's controlling habits.
You think you're buying a product, something simple, something useful. But most of the time, you're not buying a product at all. You're entering a system, and once you step inside, it quietly starts working to keep you there. Every morning, you brush your teeth. You don't think about it. You don't decide again. You just do it. Because habits don't ask permission. They repeat automatically. And modern businesses discovered something powerful. If they can become part of your habit, you stop choosing. Movies, music, software, games. Almost everything today works the same way. You don't buy it once anymore. You subscribe. And subscriptions sound harmless. Small payment, simple access. But behind that simplicity is one of the most successful business models ever created. Imagine running on a wheel. You're moving. You feel active, but you're not actually going anywhere. Subscriptions work in a similar way. You keep paying, not because you made a new decision, but because nothing interrupted the old one. Here's the strange part. Companies realized something surprising. Selling products was unpredictable. Some months customers bought. Some months they didn't. That uncertainty scared businesses. So they asked one question. What if customers never had to decide again? In the past, ownership was simple. You bought a DVD. You owned the movie forever. You bought software. It stayed yours. One payment, one decision. The relationship ended there. And for companies, that was the problem. Because once customers owned something, revenue stopped. Businesses had to start over again every month, searching for new buyers. Growth became stressful. Income became unpredictable. Investors hated uncertainty. Then companies discovered a better system. Instead of selling buckets of money, they created dripping faucets, small payments, slowly, continuously, one drop at a time. And surprisingly, this earned more money than large one-time sales. Customers didn't notice the change. $5 here, $10 there. Each subscription felt tiny, almost invisible, but combined together, they quietly became permanent payments. And this changed ownership itself. You didn't own music anymore. You rented access. You didn't own software. You borrowed permission, and permission can always be taken back. Here's where psychology enters the story. Humans love convenience. Our brains prefer easy paths. If something works automatically, we rarely question it. Businesses began designing systems around this behavior, not around products, around habits. Signing up became incredibly easy. One tap, free trial, instant access, no friction. Because the hardest part isn't joining, it's leaving. Cancel buttons became harder to find. Menus became deeper. Decisions became delayed. Not aggressively, just slightly inconvenient. And small friction changes behavior more than you think. Joining feels like sliding downhill. Fast, smooth, effortless. Canceling feels like climbing uphill. Slow, confusing, tiring. Most people stop halfway, not because they want the service, but because quitting requires energy. For businesses, this created something magical. Predictable income. Every month, regardless of whether customers actively used the product, revenue became stable, forecasts became easy, investors loved it. Meanwhile, customers relaxed, watching shows, listening to music, using apps casually. The payments felt backgrounded, almost invisible, like electricity, always on, rarely noticed. And every month, another small coin dropped into the jar. Not painful, not dramatic, just consistent. Consistency is where subscriptions become powerful. The customer barely notices, but the jar keeps filling. Slow systems are harder to detect than sudden costs, and that's why they work so well. Subscriptions are not just payments, they are machines, designed to reduce decisions, reduce interruptions, reduce moments where customers reconsider, because reconsideration is dangerous for recurring revenue. Once the machine runs, money flows automatically, not through persuasion every day, but through momentum created long ago. The hardest sale already happened. Now the system maintains itself. Over time, ownership quietly disappeared. Media faded. Files moved to the cloud. Access replaced possession. And many people didn't even notice the transition. Until one day, something stops working. A show disappears. A license expires. Access ends. And suddenly, you realize you never owned it at all. Your files, your tools, your entertainment, locked behind ongoing payments. The subscription didn't just sell convenience, it changed control. Even products like cars are moving this direction. Features activated by subscription, capabilities turned on or off remotely. Ownership is slowly becoming optional. Access is becoming standard. And the most powerful part, you rarely feel forced because the system works quietly. No pressure, just reminders, just continuation, just inertia. Over time, subscriptions stack. Music, streaming, storage, apps, games, fitness, news, each small alone, overwhelming together. It's like a bucket with tiny leaks. No single hole seems serious, but slowly, money disappears. Not dramatically, gradually. Here's the important part. Subscriptions are not evil. They exist because they solve real problems. Convenience, updates, instant access. The system isn't the enemy. Unawareness is. Once you understand the model, you regain control. You start asking, do I use this? Do I need this?